I would present the ways of development of small urban spaces in Wrocław. So we are in Wrocław again. And maybe it should be a way of undevelopment of urban spaces, but see the glass half full, not half empty. And yeah, these are some kind of theses. In last years in Wrocław there were some modernization carried within the city, but they apply to large urban spaces, not this small, and this small remain forgotten in somehow. And there is no small architecture, so their quality is systematically reduced because there are only plants growing, and it doesn't apply the full way of recreation of people. And also, what is omitted in the context of design is the variety of types of recreation, because there are different users of the spaces. There are dog owners and young people, the elderly, and they all have different needs. So we often forgot about this way of designing, and we also forgot that open spaces affect the well-being of people. They can improve safety of people. They can improve the way they are integrated, and I believe that these small urban spaces can be neighborly parks within the city, and they can create some kind of matrix which will be linking these larger spaces. And my point of interest was one of the districts in Wrocław. It is Nadolje district. Here it's this orange area. It's situated north of the center. Here is the center, and here is Nadolje. And it was joined within the city limits 200 years ago after the demolition of fortifications. So it's pretty old. And it's the map from the beginning of 20th century. It's the way how this district was developed. And these yellow and brown buildings are from the first half of 19th century. And then in 70s, so these are these green ones, and in 80s of 19th century, so the red one, the district began to industrialize, and there were a lot of residential buildings built in quarters. And inside of these quarters there were a lot of plants, a lot of factories, so the living conditions were very poor. And it is said that in one room there were 5 people living, so it's a lot of them. And through the Second World War, the district was demolished in 30%. And then through this communism time, there were nobody cared about these buildings. So till the beginning of 21st century, they remain in the state they were after Second World War. And then the authorities of Wrocław, they established a support area, as you can see here. It's not. It doesn't cover all of the district, but only this historical core. And here you can see these green areas. These are green areas which has historical background, and they were recovered in these processes of restoration. And they focused on buildings, on roads, and on these big squares and parks. Yeah, and it is still going, this revitalization of Wrocław Nadolje district. But I will be talking then about these green areas through the whole district, and now I would like to show you their historical background. This is the first of the squares here. You can see it was the first suburban park of Wrocław. So in the beginning of 19th century, so pretty young time, it was established, and the people could came there. So it was something in the scale of Europe there. And then it was something amazing that people could freely use this park. And the second one is Strzelecki Square and Staszi's Park here. And it's the land development project which remained after the Great Exhibition. You can see this geometrical division. So they wanted to do it like after this exhibition to make it like the free area for citizens, but it didn't happen like that then. And St. Matthias Square, it was something interesting, but because it alluded with its form to English squares, and it was for more wealthy people. So outside there were these poor people living and working in factories, and inside there were these wealthy people. And this is how it is looking today. In the middle you can see this, what I was saying about Pomorska Square and these two squares which were exhibition before, and here is St. Martin's Square. They are very important for the composition of the district, but they are located in the center, and as you can see there are some areas without big green spaces, and there are these smaller spaces which can supply the recreation area for people. So I divided it into sizes. There are parks, squares and lawns, and they also vary in special arrangements. So there are greenery as a part of building plots, river, boulevards and roadside greenery and natural monument. And I would go through this and describe them. So there are two parks, and one is restored in 1 year ago, and it was fitted to the needs of different users. And in another one there is only one playground, so they are different from each other. And there are 6 squares, and 4 of them were renovated in this the whole process. And there are also lawns which are usually not developed in a good way. There is only grass growing, and the trees are there, so nothing more. And the citizens can't use them in a proper way. And there are also like the parts of building plots. It's the like the way of the line of elevation is withdrawn, and then you have this space in which citizens often they take this we can say up-bottom activities. So they are having their own gardens, and it's really nice. Yeah, and there are river boulevards located in southern part, and they are usually arranged with trees and sometimes with benches. So I don't think it's enough. with the arrangement. And roadside greenery, there are only lawns often, and here you can see the pictures from the beginning of 20th century. There were trees growing. The street were made wider to plant the row of trees, but now there is no trees. So after the Second World War, they were too old and they were cutted. And then nobody cared about the new trees, new plantings. And now here is only the lawn, and here are car parks. So the car parks took place of trees. And it's the one natural monument. It's common ivy with trunk circumference of 54 and 77 centimeters, so it's quite impressive. Yeah, so as you can see again, this whole map and how it looks in land use planning documents. There are only these big areas mentioned there. So these small areas remain forgotten. For example, I don't understand, because these are river boulevards, and also here are river boulevards, but they are not mentioned here. So it's a pretty messy document. Yeah. And I would like also to compare the way of development of these small spaces with these three big spaces, which are Staszi's Park, Strzelecki Square, and Pomorska Street Square. I divided it into groups, and there is small architecture which has utilitarian functions, which is blue here. And the green is passive recreation, and pink is active recreation. As you can see, this active recreation can be implemented only in this western part of the area, but there are different users, as I said. Oh, what happened? No. Sorry. So maybe it's not big, but I observed that there are different users, of course, and in the morning these are dog owners and people who care about their fitness, and then the elderly came and people with small children, and in the evening there are school-age children and their parents, and then the young people came. So in this area, which is in the east part, these whole activities, which like young people or people with children, they cannot use this area as recreational area. So it's pretty poor, and as you can see, the way of development is inconvenient for the users of the space. Here is only carpet hanger. On the second square, there is a dog bin, which isn't actually used by people because they don't clean after their pets. And then the next, maybe it's more developed because there is an advertising column, not on the pictures, and bike rank, but no benches. So you can go through the district and you have no place to sit. So and here are benches appearing on the last square. So in the neighborhood of this park, where you can actually also sit. So you have like the core in which you can sit, and then you are going home because you won't stay inside the green area because you don't have anything to do there. Yeah. There is also one with like transportation functions. So concluding, like the small spaces which I show you now were omitted in these revitalization processes, and in this process their potential isn't actually used properly, because it doesn't, like, people are not they don't feel connectivity with these spaces, and they remain forgotten. They only go through this home and don't care about these lawns or small squares. And besides, this large public greenery is placed unevenly through whole the district. So you have to go a long way to rest or to use the playgrounds. And I think that the next step of the revitalization should be to take care about these small green spaces. Yeah. So references, and thank you for your attention. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, so what could be the next steps? Because as I understood, like the main problem is that some of these smaller parcels or like pocket parks remained, not cared of. So I don't know, what is your opinion, or is there any official opinion on this problem, or how it could be carried out later? Is there any plans so that these areas also receive some attention in the future?
We have to also like judge this revitalization of these large parks, because as I said, there are the elderly mostly in this district, and there are only like chess tables for them. So I don't think I haven't seen these people sitting there and playing chess, actually. Maybe it's like more French way of spending time. And I think we have to judge like this development of this big spaces, and to have the answer if they are meeting the needs of people. And also I have my design of development of the small spaces, and I shared it with this office in the district, and I would like to have it implemented. Yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to ask, for me it would be actually quite interesting to find out what's happening in the buildings around, because that's actually what attracts people to come, and when the people are there, then the life on the street is there. I was just remembering the architect Jan Gehl, the Danish architect, who actually talks about this, that watching people is actually the greatest spectacle you can experience on the street. Mm-hmm. So this to me seems like the key, not actually if there is a bench or there is not a bench, because finally you see, even if there is a bench, you actually don't have reason to sit there.
There are mainly residential buildings with some services on the ground level.
And they are used by the seniors. Like, is it well used?
Actually, these are a lot of shops, like small shops with alcohol mainly. so I think the benches will be used. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, but there is a lot of problems there which will be covered by. But I think like this, when the people will be identifying with this area, the area will be safer and well kept. That's the holistic idea.
What kind of data is collected in Poland by city development authority, or how you call it, in terms of development of urban life? Because in Czech Republic I have experienced that there are mostly quantitative data are collected, not qualitative data.
Yeah.
So I'm curious how it works in Poland in this way.
It's the structure of buildings, etc. So without this this layer of social problems. And inside of the districts there are these problems solved. For example, on Nadolje districts. So there were a group of researchers, and they covered all these problems with unemployment and age of people, etc., etc. So, but these, the general plans of development of the whole city are, these are these historical spaces, greenery, noise, what more, like the transportation system.
How many people? Okay, thank you.